You know when you're just going about your life, trying to get through the days without having a breakdown? And then you go on YouTube and you just see videos like, here's the 53 books I read this month. And you're just sat there like, have I even read a book this year? And so I'm gonna film this to try and keep myself a bit more accountable and just feel a little bit worse about myself when I don't read, to be honest. There seems to be this consensus on the internet as well, in book talk and booktube, where people read an insane, unattainable amount of books. And so this vlog's going to be a little bit more realistic. A spoiler alert, I will not be reading 40 books in 1 month or anywhere close to that. So let's read some books. So the first book that I've decided to read is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This has to be one of the most hyped up books I've seen recently, so I'm hoping that it's going to live up to the hype and I'll finally be able to understand all of the memes. So I'm currently at chapter 20. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of underwhelmed so far. I still have high hopes because like the internet loves the ACOTAR series so much, and I think there's 5 of these books, but I don't know, it's kind of a bit slow to me. I don't really care that much about what's going on. I can tell that there's lots brewing, they've been setting up a lot of stuff. So I'm expecting it all to pop off and get a bit more interesting, but right now I've read 20 chapters and like I'm not overly hooked, which to me is kind of a bad sign. I'm still waiting to understand the book talk memes. I'm still waiting for the, is it Rysand character to show up. Another thing that's really annoying me about this book is just like the fact that they all have the masks on. That's just stupid to me. But in general, I think the writing's good. It's very easy to read, which I really appreciate. So we'll keep going and I'll let you know how we get on. So we are on chapter 33 and it's finally interesting and I'm finally really super hooked. So we literally just had a chapter there explaining like the answers to all the questions I've had this entire 33 chapters. Our answers we got, but a lot later than I would have liked. Like I found it quite frustrating that it took so long to get our answers, but then our answers were sort of part of the plot. It is explained why we didn't find out any answers prior to that within the story, so I appreciate that we were kind of given a reason as to why we didn't have that information. But like I feel like we're really into our second act now and it's about to start getting really interesting. I kind of know what's going on now. We met Rysand or Rysand, I don't really know how to say it. He's giving me real like Ben Barnes, Shadow and Bone, Shadow Daddy energy, which I'm super here for.
Make me your villain.
Smash. I finished. I just absolutely devoured the second half of that book. It's crazy how long it took me to read the first half compared to how long it took me to read the second half. I loved it. I feel like I'm fully on the ACOTAR hype right now. I kind of just want to immediately start the second book, but I'm not going to. I'm going to have some restraint and read at least another book in between. So yes, I'm fully on the hype. I think I said last night just after I'd finished it, I really just want to read the second book. And from what I recall, kind of the consensus online is that people like the second book the best. I think I'm gonna award it, I think 4 stars, maybe more like a 3.7, 3.8. There were a few things that I didn't love and I thought the first half of the book was a bit too slow for my liking, but in general, overall, like the second half completely brought it back. Well done, Sarah Hun. Bravo. I'm going to start The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I've only ever read one other book by Christina Lauren, which was Josh and Hazel's Guide to Not Dating. I liked that book, but I didn't love that book. It also had one of my least favourite tropes of all time in it, so hopefully I have better feelings about this book. It looks like quite a nice spring day outside, so I thought we could go to the park and try and read there. I haven't really read much of that book this week, so hopefully I can make a bit of a dent in it right now. So I'm on chapter 9 now of the Soulmate Equation. I am enjoying this book so far. I think we're just about to get into the meat of this book, so I think it is going to deliver thus far. I think the writing's really good from Christina Lauren, which amazes me. I don't know how two people can co-write a book together and the voice be so cohesive and not feel like two different people. Blows my mind, really, to think about that. If I had one nitpick about this book, it would be that it's written in third person instead of first, which I know is like personal opinion. Some people prefer to read third person, but for me, I think especially in a book where our main character is in every scene and we're inside the head of that character, I just don't understand why you wouldn't just write it first person. But other than that, I'm enjoying this book and hopefully we'll get through quite a bit more now. I finally finished The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren, and it was fine. I didn't hate this book, but I absolutely by no means loved this book. It was really mid-range to me, and it has quite a high rating on Goodreads and stuff, so I was a little bit disappointed by it, if I'm being honest. And I don't really know how to describe this other than to say it kind of read like fan fiction to me, in a sense that certain things would happen that just didn't feel natural or thought out and just made me think, why? Also, the stakes were so low in this book that, like, it failed to be overly interesting. I know romance as a genre is a very low stakes genre, but we still need some angst and something to root for. Really, halfway through this book, it could have ended, if I'm being honest. I love the way Christina Lauren writes. I'm just yet to be completely blown away by the story of a Christina Lauren book. Overall, I think I'm going to give this book probably 3 stars. I do think that this book would be better as a movie. I can see it being a really, really good rom-com movie. I need to read something that satisfies me a little bit more than that one did, so the next book I'm going to read is You and Me on Vacation by Emily Henry, I think known in the rest of the world as People We Meet on Vacation. Honestly, I kind of don't want to read this book just purely because of the stupid title change. I don't understand why they changed the title to that. Okay, we need to change this title for a British audience. The people we meet was not the problem. It's the fact that we don't use the word vacation. Surely it should have been People We Meet on Holiday. If someone from Penguin could just, like, hit me up and just let me know, I would really appreciate that. I have read Beach Read, which I liked, and Book Lovers by Emily Henry. Book Lovers was like one of my favourite books that I read last year. I was absolutely obsessed with Book Lovers, so I'm hoping that this book will give me the same vibes to make up for The Soulmate Equation, and hopefully I'll just want to read it really quickly and get through it in 2 days, but we'll see. book. This book was so close to perfect. I absolutely loved it. The only things I can slightly say were maybe some plot could have been slightly more interesting, and there was slight miscommunication at the end, which was kind of annoying. Emily Henry writes in present tense and I prefer to read in past tense, but like they're such minor things. This book was just so good. I don't know if I prefer it to Book Lovers. I really liked Book Lovers. So on par with that book though. This book is probably going to be like a 4.7 I think for me. I really loved this book. In fact, I love this book so much it's having a 4.8. It made me cry, it made me happy, it made me feel super single. My issue is that I don't know what to read next. I was very much just going to read another contemporary rom-com, but that one was so good that I'm scared to immediately read another in case it's not anywhere near as good. So I may go back to ACOTAR. Emily Henry, you bitch. The second ACOTAR book has a 4.63 rating on Goodreads. That's absolutely crazy. I've never seen anything that high, I don't think. My expectations are pretty high. It's also going to be a really long book, which I'm kind of nervous for, but hopefully it doesn't drag like the first half of the first one. So this book was way spicier than the first one. Not that it was super spicy, but we were having a heat wave and I got to a very particular scene and it was pretty warm in this room. So I'm on chapter 58 now. I am 87% of the way through. So I am going to attempt to try and finish this book now. Really loving this book so far and excited to see how it ends. I mean, the ACOTAR series is super popular for a very good reason. And that is it's just good shit. Like, it's just good shit. Like, such good storytelling, so gripping, so immersive. You just want to keep reading. At times, I think pace can be slow, but it's brought back round so quickly. Such incredible storytelling. The only kind of thing I would say is if I had £1 for every time the phrases loosed a breath, loosed a sigh, the word prick and the word mate were used in this book, I would be a very rich woman. But God, it's good shit. It is real good shit. I almost want to give it 5 stars, but I don't know if any book is worth 5 stars, 5 perfect stars. So 4.9 for A Court of Mist and Fury. Real good stuff. Real good stuff. So my power's out, which is really fun. My phone is like dead. I can't even go on the internet because my Wi-Fi is connected to my power. I'm literally sitting here with a candle because it's so dark in here, like a Victorian, like an ill Victorian child. I can't even cook. I had to go and get a takeaway in order to have a hot meal. And I quite literally have nothing to do but to start a new book. I'm going to start the Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. A really fun thing that Kindle has done is gifted me with the cover that has like the TV show people on it, which I hate. I don't want that cover. I've never read a Beth O'Leary book, even though I think I own every book she's ever written. I've heard really good things about this book, so hopefully it is as good as people say. So about 10 days have passed since I started reading the Flatshare. I've read about a third. It is about to be July and I really want to finish this book by the end of this month. I'm really annoyed at how long it's taking me to read it because it's actually a really enjoyable book and I am liking it, but just life's been busy, work's been busy. I've had some sort of like personal significant things happen in the last like week and a half that have just made reading bottom of my priority list. So I'm gonna try and finish this book by tomorrow. I am going out for dinner tonight, so probably not a lot is gonna get read tonight, but I will get this book finished soon. Okay, so I finished the Flatshare by Beth O'Leary last night and I wanted to quickly talk about it just this morning while I get a second. So I did really enjoy the Flatshare. It had a lot of hype behind it and I would say it kind of like almost hit it. There was something in this book that I can't really put my finger on that was missing. I don't know if it was like a subplot or just like some sort of romantic development, but something was like missing, but not massively. Like it was still a really, really good book. It felt really long, but I think that had more to do with the fact of how slowly I read it. And whenever I did go to read it, my brain would just be thinking of something else that I needed to do. So I actually think I would have enjoyed this book a lot more had I read it when I was a bit more relaxed in life. It was very, very nice to read a rom-com that was British. Most of the stuff that I read is American, so it's nice to occasionally get a good dose of like British colloquialism and slang. The plot was pretty unique as well. Like I've never really read a plot that felt like that. It felt very unique, didn't feel reused and overly cliche in that way. So I don't know what I'm gonna rate this book. I think we're gonna go with a 3.5 stars out of 5. It was enjoyable, I do recommend it, it is a good book. I am gonna end this vlog here for now. If you actually watch this vlog, thank you so much. I will be doing them again, so keep tuning in to see what I read down the line. If you want any other sort of book content, you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok, where I'll occasionally post book content. I will link those below. I'll also just pop a link down to every book that I read in the description box too. If you don't already, follow, subscribe, like, thumbs up, leave a comment, all that crap. And I'll see you next time. Bye.